Morning, Mark.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm especially fine this morning.
Good. I am well as well.
We're looking at LSB 690,
Yeah.
Hope of the World, 22nd Sunday of Pentecost. Pentecost is when we're living in the world as the people of Christ, as the children of God. There's lots of ways you can live in the world, but there's only one way that has hope. There's only one way that kind of includes everything.
Yeah.
Because, I can't include everything in myself, but there's a whole lot going on, and there's only one person who really, really loves it all.
Right. Yeah. And that hope, of course, is Christ. It is the hope. He is the hope of the world. So it's kind of another name, right, for thinking about what Jesus is.
So what is he according to this hymn? I mean, this hymn has some really great pictures, right, going on.
Yeah, there's some great names for Christ in this hymn, but it's really it's the cry of the person who is, cast down or downtrodden with the ways of the world continually failing them. No matter how many iPhones you buy or expensive cars you drive, you're not going to find any sort of joy and happiness that is the same kind as what you find in Christ. Yeah, so, don't get me wrong. I like iPhones. I like cool cars, but
those are all a part of our journey, and we get
Sure.
to embrace them and use them. But we don't have hope in those things.
Right.
We have hope. We have a hope that's of the whole world.
Right.
And that extends to kind of whether you have a lot or you have a little, or because Jesus is with you, irregardless of how many iPhones you have.
Do you know irregardless is not a word?
Oh, I know, but I use it so often. How can I can't give up on it.
I'm just kidding.
Let's make it a word.
That's okay.
Make an ecclesiastical word.
There you go. Ecclesiastes. Nice segue.
So Ecclesiastes is one of our readings. I wasn't actually thinking about that.
That's a really, I think it's an underappreciated book of the Bible. Go read some more of it sometime when you have a chance. But the excerpt for this coming Sunday talks about kind of like basically like woe to the man or woe to the person who is placing their trust so much in the material goods and the worldly goods that's not where you find your joy. And it harmonizes so beautifully with that reading then from the gospel.
So I think one of the metaphors I'll use in the sermon might be sort of like, how when you're a little kid and you're trying to play ball and say like the youngest of the 4 siblings, I'm thinking about my house, right? Doesn't get that it's a game that involves passing the ball or kicking the ball to each other, right? They just want the ball.
Keep away.
Right, yeah. So it's like, I've got the ball, that means I'm feeling good, and they don't realize that actually they're keeping the game from playing. They're not actually able to enjoy or allow other people to enjoy. And I think that's what we do, right? In this world, we're all kind of concerned with what we have, and we never realize that we're actually getting in the way of the hope of the world.
Wow.
We're trying to find hope in the world, in this particular thing, and we actually, in doing that, undo the hope of the world.
Interesting, yeah.
Which is Christ's. So, hope of the world, thou Christ of great compassion, the one who has passion with the world. I feel like as you sing this, you're sort of led to look outward for hope, which is just the opposite of what we do all the time. We're always beating ourselves up on the inside because we don't have hope, or we're always trusting in something on the inside that we do have, or something in our house, something in our capabilities. I love the 3rd verse. So this image of we're walking down a dusty highway and we're asking Christ to walk beside us because that's our hope.
Right. And don't let us get tempted by the luring byways.
As if we could find our own way.
Yeah, right. And they lure us away from Christ into endless night.
Into endless night.
Right. Yeah. Not a place that we want to be.
No. You're in the company of Christ. You're in the light. You're doing and learning and participating in this great compassion for the world, which is the hope of the world. When you are on your own, trying to find your own way, apart from Christ, you're wandering. You're lost. You're headed toward endless night. Beautiful hymn. I love that you choose these hymns. I remember singing this.
Oh, I didn't choose it.
This is just kind of set for this year?
The Missouri Synod told me to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, well, that's the beauty of the hymn of the day, right? I mean, you have these hymns of the day that carry over from an ancient tradition that in the German it was referred to as the Hauptlied, which is the the main song, the head song, right? You know, that you have in the day. And so here we are now today as Lutherans in 2018, assuming the music directors and or pastors and or organists are doing this right. You know, all of the churches around who use the lectionary treat this as the principal hymn of the day.
So is it to take the point of what we just talked about and kind of the point of this hymn and sort of apply it? So you start applying this in even little parts of life, right? Including like what songs we're singing.
Sure.
We could be like, no, I feel like singing this kind of music. I feel like singing this song. Seems to me like this really fits.
Right, and that's why a lot of the time the hymn of the day is not exactly something that we all would necessarily choose to sing. Sometimes they're, you know, it's in a minor key, or it's a little depressing sounding, or whatever. And in reality, that's kind of like if you think of like a workout, you know, with a personal trainer at the gym or something like that. The hymn of the day is the part of the workout that you're probably least looking forward to, because it's the part that's going to kick your butt.
Sure, right.
You know, but in a good way, of course.
Or when you play a game, right? You'd rather just sort of have it all kind of on your side, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to actually play the game, but we get in our worship tradition the ability to play this game that actually includes stuff that's a lot bigger than what we want.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Extends back in time and to people who are not feeling, you know, the way that we feel and entitled the way that we feel. And this is how we participate in Christ.